All right, hello and welcome back. Now, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at our worker thread, revisiting that, right?
Right. There was some functionality that we left out to simplify our demonstrations
hmm
that we really didn't need in place until we had implemented the MyThread We've now implemented MyThread so we have to go back and revisit iWorkerThread and the WorkerThread abstract class and add the additional functionality to implement the ability to signal the thread pool when the worker thread is done. That is going to be handled via our wait handles. So to set this up, we'll jump over to iWorkerThread. And in the last video, I said our start has to take in a wait handle. Right now, it has no concept of a wait handle, so we have to put that in. So we're going to say wait handle. Hit Alt-Enter to add that in via ReSharper. And we'll give this argument a name of wait handle. That's all we need to add for iWorker, but as you can see, as we build it, we've already ticked off iWorker because we've not implemented start the way it thinks that we need to, which is going to be by adding the wait handle argument to it. So we add that. Our abstract class is happy again, but there's some more code that we need to add to implement this wait handle that we're now passing in. To start off with, we're going to need a private field, and I don't want to put it there, I want to put it above. So we need a private wait handle. We're going to call this wait handle. And this dot wait handle equals wait handle. So this will assign our private field the value that we pass into it. And it's that hiding thing. All right, my wait handle. There, are you happy now? Okay. It was getting funky because this is an abstract class, so I can't do this. So, all right, now we're passing in wait handle. We need to use the wait handle. To use it, we're going to go down here to on run.
Yeah.
And we're going to say var auto reset event equals our wait handle, but we need to cast it as an auto reset event. Because if you remember, our array is of type wait handles. We're storing our array as wait handles. We're passing in our array, our wait handle as a wait handle. But when we initialize the values inside of the wait handles, they were all new auto reset events. So we're casting our wait handle to an auto reset event. Then we run our method, and then the moment our method is done running, we're going to say auto reset event dot set. This is going to set it to true, which is going to cause our thread pool in a wait for available threads to this wait any is then going to be freed up because we've then set one of these to true. So this frees up. We can continue through the gate, clean up after that thread or threads, depending on how many freed up in this loop through, and then allocate the next worker thread. And it should be next worker threads just to be correct. So let me refactor that. Okay, so allocate next worker threads. So that should follow through. Build it. Start does not take 0 arguments, obviously. Inside of program, we're going to get this error. I'm not going to deal with it yet because this is all going away when we do the test or start testing this new thread pool in the next video. The one that does matter, though, is the one inside of my thread pool under the allocate next worker thread where we've got this start. We're not passing anything in, but now we're requiring something to be passed in. What we're going to pass in is going to be our wait handles element. Now, the element that we're going to be passing in is going to be WorkerThreads.count. Now, this is going to be a gotcha if you're not, or a gotcha if you're not careful about the order that you put these in. Mm-hmm. You're going to get some really weird results, and you're not going to know exactly what's going on. WorkerThread.count is an absolute count. Wait handles elements is 0 based. WaitThreads.count is not. So the count is always going to be 1 higher than the last element of the wait handles. So or whatever one has been allocated. So I know that wait handles has been a total number has been allocated for all the number of threads. If WorkerThreads.count is less than the maximum number, it's always going to work. You can't get to this code when you've got worker thread count is completely full, because then you get available threads to 0. But what ends up happening is, let's say we've got 10 wait handles, i.e. we have 10 threads in our thread pool, and our worker count is at 5. So our worker threads count is at 5. That means our 5th element here would be the correct worker thread element, or the corresponding one. So we're going to assign the 5th element here to this wait handle, which sends the write to 1, and then we add it to the worker threads. Once we do this add, the count is going to increment to 6. So if we do this, add this worker thread before we call the start, this number and the wait handle that we're going to be sending in is going to be off by 1.
Okay.
It's just one of those things, and trust me, it will mess you up, because it took a good 20 minutes to figure out what happened when I did it. So now, like I said, we still know this one is wrong, but this is the only error that we're getting when we build. All the others are cleared. So if everything works fine and I haven't messed anything up, which is probably a fairly slim chance, but if it all works well, in the next video, we will test it out and make sure that it works.
Okay. So that will wrap things up for this video. Thanks a lot.